Hey everyone, Joan Zodianz here, and welcome back to another episode of Spiritual Zundayz. We are going to be talking about the Mercury Retrograde in Pisces that will be coming up on March 5th or March 6th, depending on your time zone. So to get a better grasp of what Mercury retrograde actually means, first you have to understand the actual planet. So Mercury influences or dictates how we communicate with each other and communication methods, right? Different channels. It could be electronic, it could be paper, it could be just face to face. It's how we also perceive that communication, right? When it's in retrograde, it's backwards thinking, right? So there can be a lot of misunderstandings depending on where the planet is. Right now it's in Pisces. So Pisces is a mutable water sign, okay? And it is also a dual zodiac sign, meaning there's two parts of it, light and dark energy. So one side is the koi fish, the other one is the shark. And I always say that. Now, with having a Mercury in Pisces, it means that we are extra sensitive, we are very compassionate, and we are usually very social and very loving towards people. But then we also have a heightened sense of intuition as well. Now, when it goes in retrograde, all of the negative sides of a Pisces will appear. Okay. You can expect people to be jealous. You can expect people to be more, wish-washy, right? You can expect people to be more aloof or more elusive or even more, sarcastic and overreactive on certain situations or certain topics. Okay. Things can get intense very quickly when you have a Mercury retrograde and it's in a water sign. We have to remember that water influences our emotions, right? It is the energy of feelings and emotions and sensitivity and sensibility, right? So when we make decisions, it will be based on our emotions and like basically wearing a heart on your sleeve the entire time. And you might overreact in a lot of different situations depending on how close those people are to you. Okay. Or even if they're strangers, if they talk to you a certain way, you might get in your feels about it. You might get real salty is what I'm saying. Now, Venus is still going to be in Aquarius, meaning you will have very strong and stubborn beliefs about relationships and about love. Okay. This is a time where you're trying to see things from multiple perspectives. With the Mercury in retrograde, it will not help your relationships because you will be really sensitive about things, but you will also be self-sabotaging as well. So that's something to look out for. And let me explain further what that means. It means that having the Aquarius and Pisces working together during a retrograde will be very challenging and very difficult. Where on one side, we want to be fair and just, the other side, our thinking, will be very backwards and very sensitive and overreactive when it comes to relationships. You might get fogginess where you're like unsure of everything. You start self-sabotaging yourself or self-sabotaging or just sabotaging relationships because those two are just not agreeing. The heart and the mind are just not in tune with one another. And these are things that we have to be aware of. And I know I'm repeating a lot of the same words over and over again, but these are key words that you have to remember, especially when it comes during a retrograde. Remember, there are a lot of people who have water signs in Mercury already, and that will definitely not work with you. If you have a water sign in any placement, the Venus or Mercury, it's already hard during normal times, right? Because you're extra sensitive all the time. But when it's in retrograde is when you're going to have to find your triggers and make sure that when you do feel those triggers, that you are not, going to explode basically, right? You're not going to lose your shit. And that's a possibility during a retrograde. So let's talk about when it goes direct. It goes direct on the 28th. Okay, 28th, that's a Thursday. And so we have this quite a long period of time where we will have to be more aware of how we're reacting to situations and or people. And we're going to have to keep our emotions in check, right? Especially when it comes to different types of relationships. Venus in Aquarius, we want to treat everybody the same, but we may find ourselves, being a bad judge of character during this time. So if you're trying to date people right now, that might not be a good, you might want to pass until after the 28th when your judgment is better, right? When your judgment is clear. This can also mean that the jealousy, if you are in a relationship, will also appear, and you might jump to conclusions. You might accuse people when they're not doing anything because they're acting weird, they're acting aloof, they're acting mysterious, they're acting elusive, just like how that Pisces shark will appear. Does that make sense? When we're in retrograde, it's the dark side of that zodiac sign that will appear. Remember that for later. Now, to wrap it up, Mars is still in Taurus. Mars being in Taurus means that our physical actions, right, or just taking actions at all, will be very slow and very stubborn. This is a time where we just feel like we don't want to move for anybody. We don't want to change for anybody. We don't want to change our styles of doing things physically or just energetically. Okay. And having that Mercury in Pisces in retrograde will make you even more stubborn or more unwilling to change. But that does not mean that you're incapable of change during this time. Okay. This could be a very good time to have deep reflections or past wounds coming up where you have to reflect on why do you feel the way that you do, or why can't you change, right? Just because it's a retrograde doesn't mean everything is shit. It just means that there's a lot of things that you've suppressed that are going to come up, especially under a water sign, that things that you're just going to have to confront. Emotionally, you're going to have to confront things in yourself or confront things in a person. If you've been suppressing a lot of things from a relationship, or you've been ignoring a lot of things in a relationship, or just being single, then these are things you're going to have to address. That it is what it is, especially when there's a water sign in Mercury. Now, trying to redefine how you want to change or how you want to move forward will take a lot of discipline and will take a lot of deep reflection. But also, you might not want to do things too impulsively, and that's fine. That's what Mars in Taurus actually means, not to be impulsive, but to be patient, to be sensual, to be sensitive to your physical needs, right? This could be a good time to really sit down with your partner and just go over everything that you guys want to do together and, plan out things that you need to do together so that the relationship can survive. You may have to get over your stubborn ways. You may be, reflecting on your emotional needs, your physical needs, your spiritual needs during this time. There may be a lot of things for you to hash out until the 28th. But if you can survive it together, your relationship will be stronger than ever. But if you are single, then this is a good time to do deep reflection and start to get rid of, old habits, get rid of things that you just ignored or suppressed so that you can attract better and healthier loving relationships after the 28th when it goes direct. Okay. So it's a lot and it's overwhelming for people. A lot of people have a rough time during retrogrades, and then some people don't. If you're born in a retrograde, you might be thriving in it. Okay. Because if you're ass backwards anyways, and it goes backwards, then there you go. then you'll be thriving in it. You'll be splashing around and wondering what the hell is wrong with everybody else. If you don't know your birth chart or your natal chart, you can generate a free one on Zodianz.com under Astrology and Tarot. And it's always good to know your energies, your inner and outer energies. That way you know what to expect during certain times. And it's really, if you're an amateur in astrology, then it'll be kind of difficult for you to understand anyways, but that's why I'm here. If you guys need any spiritual guidance whatsoever, you can book a session with me or any of the Earth Guides, or you can hop on and follow me on Instagram because I'm about to go live with one of the Earth Guides. Her name is Siobhan, and we're going to be teaching you guys how to practice self-love and how to heal yourself from past wounds. So hopefully you guys tune in. And I said we, but I will talk to you guys next week. Love you so much.